They say you can't write your own ending, but I'm starting to think that's not true, especially after the first morning I found a handwritten obituary slid under my door. It was for a woman named June Halley, who, according to the draft, would lose herself at dawn. The strangest part? I'd never heard of June, but the handwriting was eerily familiar, looping and childlike, exactly like mine from elementary school. I almost laughed it off. Almost. But the next day, the news reported a missing person, June Halley, last seen at sunrise, leaving behind only muddy footprints leading into the river. After that, the drafts kept coming. They were always in that same childish scrawl, always for people who hadn't died yet, neighbors, old clients, even strangers I passed on the street. Each obituary ended with a cryptic warning, "Beware what you see at sunrise." I tried to ignore them, but when I found one addressed to me, I felt my stomach twist. It was detailed, unnervingly precise, and described things I hadn't even told my closest friends. What frightened me most was the ending, "At sunrise, you'll see the truth waiting in the light." Last night, I barely slept. I watched the clock crawl toward morning, the draft clutched in my shaking hands. My apartment's window faces east, so when the first rays of sunlight crept across the floor, I forced myself to look outside. The world seemed unchanged, quiet, ordinary. But then I noticed the shadows on the street weren't moving with the trees. They twisted, lengthened, and began to take unfamiliar shapes. Faces. My own face, as a child, mouth open in a silent scream. Now, every morning, the drafts are waiting for me. My handwriting grows more uncertain, more childlike, with every note. I know I shouldn't look at sunrise, but I can't help myself. Each day, the faces in the light come closer, pressing against the glass, mouthing the words I wrote for them. And I finally understand, these aren't warnings. They're invitations, to remember what I did, and to join them when the dawn comes for me.